Hello everyone, welcome back to the Daily Blend. I'm your host Oliver, and today is February 15th. You know, Maya, I just realized that today is World Hippo Day.
オリバー、ハロー。ワールドヒッポデー？カバの日なの？なんだかかわいい記念日だね。
It is. Hippos are fascinating creatures. They look so round and slow, but they're actually incredibly fast. They're full of surprises, just like the news we have today.
カバって意外と足が速いもんね。見た目とのギャップがすごそう。今日のニュースもそんな驚きがあるのかな？
Definitely. Since it's the aftermath of Valentine's Day, our first story is all about the massive changes in how people in Japan celebrated this year. It seems like the traditional ways are disappearing.
昨日のバレンタイン、街中はすごかったけど、何が変わってきてるんだろう？気になるな。
Well, according to recent retail data from Tokyo and Osaka, there's been a record-breaking shift towards something new. Instead of buying chocolate for colleagues or bosses, people are focusing on self-indulgence.
セルフインダルジェンス。それって自分のためにお金を使うってこと？
Exactly, Maya. When we talk about self-indulgence, we mean allowing yourself to enjoy something very special or even expensive purely for your own pleasure. You aren't thinking about others, you're just treating yourself because you want to feel good.
なるほどね。自分を甘やかすというか自分へのご褒美ってことか。最近よく聞く自分チョコがまさにそれだね。
Right. The data shows that over 75% of women bought Jibi Choco this year. It's a huge shift away from the old Giri Choco culture.
シフトアウェイフロム、つまりこれまでの義理チョコ文化から離れていってるってことだよね。
Spot on. To shift away from something means to stop doing a traditional habit or using an old method and start doing something different. People are leaving the obligation behind and choosing what they actually like.
確かに会社の人に配るよりも自分が本当に食べたい高級なチョコを買う人が増えてるもんね。私の周りでも義理チョコはやめましたっていう人多いよ。
I think it's a healthy change. And interestingly, it's not just about the taste. Consumers are now very interested in ethical sourcing.
エシカルソーシング、エシカルな調達？最近よく聞く言葉だけど、具体的にはどういう意味なの？
Basically, ethical sourcing means ensuring products like cocoa beans are created in a way that is kind to the people who grow them and the environment. People want to know that no children were forced to work and that the planet wasn't harmed.
へえ、ただ高いだけじゃなくて、環境や生産者の権利を守って作られたチョコを選んでるんだね。すごく現代的というか、素敵な傾向だと思うな。
I agree. Even though people are buying fewer boxes in total, they are spending much more money on each one. High-end department stores are seeing record sales because people want that sustainable luxury. Even men are joining in. There was a 12% increase in male shoppers at chocolate fairs this year.
男性も自分用に高級チョコを買う時代なんだね。2026年のバレンタインは義務感じゃなくて自分へのご褒美と社会への貢献がキーワードだったってことか。面白いね。
It really is a big change. Now, speaking of big changes, our second story takes us from the ground to the sky. Over the weekend, something amazing happened in Osaka Bay.
大阪湾で空に関係することって、もしかして空飛ぶ車の話？
Precisely. Japan's first commercial-grade flying taxi completed a successful public trial flight. It's a huge step for urban mobility.
アーバンモビリティ、都市における移動手段ってことかな？
You've got it. Urban mobility refers to the ability for people to move around busy cities easily using various transport methods. This flying taxi, it's an electric craft, could completely change how we think about getting from point A to point B in a crowded city like Osaka.
都市部って渋滞がすごいもんね。空を使えばもっと自由に楽に移動できるようになるってことか。今回のテスト飛行はどうだったの？
It was great. It carried 2 passengers and flew for 10 minutes. The coolest part is it features vertical takeoff.
バーティカルテイクオフ。垂直に離陸するってこと？
Exactly. It doesn't need a long runway like an aeroplane. It can lift straight up into the air from a small space like a rooftop. This means these taxis can be placed right in the middle of a city.
そうスロー内がないのは便利だね。ビルの上からそのまま飛び立てるなら本当にタクシー感覚で使えそう。
Exactly. And the main goal of the government is to use these to bypass ground traffic.
バイパス、迂回するとか避けるって意味だよね。
Yes, to bypass something means to go around it or avoid it entirely, to get somewhere faster. Instead of sitting in a car for 45 minutes in a traffic jam, you just fly over it.
渋滞をバイパスして空を行くなんてまるで SF 映画の世界だね。でもそれがもう現実になりつつあるんだ。
It really is. They say it will drastically reduce commute times.
drastically reduce。つまりものすごく短縮するってことだよね。
Right. Drastically means in a very noticeable and extreme way. That 45-minute car trip took only 10 minutes by air. That's a massive saving of time.
45分が10分に？それはすごい短縮だね。2027年度には本格的なサービスを始める予定なんでしょ？大阪万博の後の発展も楽しみだな。
I'd love to try it, although I hope I'm not too scared of heights. Well, before we wrap up, let's quickly review today's expressions.
はい。今日も便利な表現がたくさんありましたね。ゆっくり復習しましょう。
Our first expression was self-indulgence.
セルフインダルジェンス。自分を甘やかすこと、自分へのご褒美という意味でしたね。
Next, shift away from.
シフトアウェイフロム。これまでの習慣ややり方から離れる、何々離れという意味です。
Third, ethical sourcing.
エシカルソーシング。環境や労働者に関慮したエシカルな来量の調達のことですね。
Moving to our second story, urban mobility.
アーバンモビリティ。都市における人々の移動、あるいはその手段のことです。
Fifth, vertical takeoff.
バーティカルテイクオフ。垂直に離陸することですね。
And finally, bypass.
バイパス、渋滞などを避ける、迂回するという意味では使われます。
Great job. Try using these when you talk about your weekend plans or new technology.
ぜひ皆さんも使ってみてくださいね。今日も最後まで聞いてくれてありがとうございました。
Thanks for listening to the Daily Blend. We'll see you next time.